The area behind our back door has always been troublesome. It's where we keep our recycling and the shoes we take off when we come inside. Today we are going to fix this issue. We are Alex and Elena, a couple in our mid-20s working towards financial independence and self-sustainability.
Follow our journey as we grow, build, fix, and learn the skills we need to get us there.
Today I'm in the wood shop and my goal is to make a completely free to me shoe rack in just a matter of a couple hours. I could use some fancy joinery techniques and expensive materials to make this thing, but it's really just to serve a function, not necessarily fashion. So I'm just going to use pocket screws to join it and call it a day. Here's the rough sketch I drew. As you can see, it's going to have two slightly angled shelves and a flat shelf on top to set our recycling bins on top of. I'm going to start off by making the side frames. I'm going to use this 1-inch thick scrap of this architectural drawing board. I'm going to rip down the length of this 2.5 inches wide, then cut shorter pieces to create my side frames. Now that I got my two frames complete, I think I'm going to make some stringers to go across the front corner here, the back corner, and then one for the bottom center. So this piece is going to go across the front like this. We have our bottom piece, and then another piece across the back like that. But before we get too carried away assembling this, let's get our angled shelves on. Something like here and here. I'm just eyeballing the position here. Got all the edges trimmed flush. I made sure to make a mark at the same point that I started this one over here so that the shelf sits on these rails evenly. I'm also lining these up next to each other as I go to make sure that the rails are perfectly even across the two sides. Just for a little extra visual appeal, I beveled these edges on this one on the table saw, this one on my miter saw. That's an oopsie. The holes need to be in this piece. Got the back brace on. That's my basic frame. Now it's time to add the shelves and the top and some trim to the front of the shelves, and we'll be done with the building part anyway. Then we got to finish it. It's the worst part. Alright, now here's an awesome trick when you need shelves. First, you pray to the shelf gods. Second, on 3, you say shelves. Ready? 1, 2, 3, shelves! The shelf god works in mysterious ways. Now, these aren't exactly scrap wood. This is leftover sanded plywood from when I built the vanity in our bathroom. But I had it. I didn't have to pay anything extra for it, so I thought I would use it. The next step is to cut some trim that's going to come across the front of here. It'll hold the shelf in, and it'll just look a little bit nicer than what we have right now. I am going to keep these shelves loose and removable so that when we inevitably get dirt from our shoes on them, we can take it out and clean them off. I'm going to use these two pieces of pine. I think this is left over from like a bunk bed or something. I don't even know where I got this stuff. For this trim, I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on here. For the top, I was thinking about doing a whole bunch of different pieces of scrap wood just to try to use some stuff up, but the more I think about it, I think I want to try to salvage this old, tired, dirty board. It's like 3/4 inch thick, 8.5 inch wide, so I would only have to do 2 courses of it, and it's long enough that this would make my whole top just in 2 shots. So I'm going to run it through the planer and see what happens. Well, the planer was really struggling with these things because they're so horribly twisted and uneven. I was able to get just the edges of them planed. I think what I'm gonna do, this kind of looks cool. Kind of looks like the heartwood of a tree, even though it's not at all. It's just dirt. But I think I'm gonna try to sand this all out, and maybe it'll freshen up a little bit. And looks a lot better after a good sand. Trim the edges, put a little bevel on that edge too. Just gonna put some pocket screws up from the bottom to fasten those top boards on, and then I think she's ready for a finish coat. All right, about 6 hours of work later, we are finally done. Let's get it installed. Well, it's in. It fits just like I hoped it would, and it makes things look a lot better over here, so I'm pretty happy. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to like, subscribe, and comment below, and also give us a follow on Instagram and Facebook. Thanks for watching.